I'm Carolyn Snyder. I'm an emergency physician at the Winnipeg Health Sciences Centre and the principal investigator of the Emergency Department Violence Intervention Program. Early on in my residency, I was struck by the large number of youth who were coming through our emergency departments with injuries due to violence. And it was even more concerning when I realized that 20% of youth who are injured by violence will return to an emergency department with an injury due to violence again in the next year.
Joey, would you mind doing the...
As a physician, I have tools to take care of patients to try and avoid future conditions. Like if they come in with chest pain, I have medicines that I can prescribe and follow-up that I can work out for them. I can suggest healthy eating and exercise. But for youth who are injured by violence, I didn't have those tools at hand. And so that really defined a career trajectory for me. I started to become more and more interested in this topic area and developed a career based on that. I met with people who worked with youth who were at risk of violence, and more importantly, I met with people who they themselves had been affected by violence as youth. They, with a number of others, helped us form a team to develop the Emergency Department Violence Intervention Program.
I went to a party with a friend and I didn't know the people that were there, and altercation broke out, and I was trying to leave the party, and about halfway down the street from leaving, I ended up getting stabbed twice on my left side.
I was home invaded. They hit me with a machete. They got all 5 tendons, both main arteries. They got me right to the bone, and it was a pretty severe injury.
I had got jumped at the corner of my street and I had got my teeth knocked out, and I didn't fight back. I just covered up my mouth and I let them hit me and kick me, and when I first got kicked in the face, I got kicked in the temple, which I saw stars, and every kick after that I kept seeing stars.
I've learned that by talking to them and showing them the respect that they deserve, that a lot of information can come out, and that often, despite the toughness of their exterior, they're often underneath a very scared young person, and that they too deserve our care in a way that we can try and help them.
He's got this large...
Our intervention starts right at the bedside, with the youth. So, when I'm on call, I can get called at any time. And if there's a youth that fits the criteria for our program, we get called in and we meet them right then and there in the ER.
We work directly with the youth and their families if they ask, for any youth who have been injured by violence ages 14 to 24. Some of the key factors that we work with the youth on is their goals. It could be justice, it could be housing, education, employment, peer relations, family, child and family services. We work with these youth at a pace that they want to work at, and we help and support them set goals that they want to work on.
It's always a challenge to first meet them. You don't really don't know what to expect, and some youth are aggressive, some are not, and some are very talkative and some are very closed. They don't want to talk to you at first until you sit around for at least a half hour sitting with them and getting to know them, and they ease up a little and they let you into their lives a little bit more with more talk about the things that they face and the challenges that they face out on the streets or at home or at school.
We've learned that by providing a support worker at the bedside in the emergency department during that teachable moment, that they are receptive to change, that trusting relationship can happen right at that time, and that those initial moments of care.
My sisters brought me here to Health Science Center, and about maybe 3 hours after seeing the doctor, I was introduced to Heather. I didn't know who she was or why she was there, and most of the time when you're in situations like that, it's cops that are involved or people just want to know the details of everything that happened. But with Heather, she didn't ask anything like that. She wanted to know if I was okay. She said who she was and gave me a little bit about herself, which kind of put me more at ease with talking with her. But initially I pushed her away for like the first 6 months of being in this program.
When I came to the hospital and they took me right in, I had major concussion, I was bleeding and I was sore and I had bruises everywhere. And then there's a lady who started watching me that ended up being one of the ladies that work with this program.
I never knew about this program until I happened to get home invaded, and when they came and seen me, she said that we have a guy that dances powwow, we have another guy that goes to sweat lodges, and those were basically the two people that I really wanted to meet, and sure enough they had a big influence in my life.
The wraparound care model that we use, the youth remains at the center of our focus. So it's not us telling the youth what they need to do, it's not us telling them how to do it. We spend a lot of time building that relationship right at the bedside with them, and we ask them what are some of the goals that they have, what are some of the things they can do to prevent further injury, and we try to walk with them while they achieve those goals.
When the Emergency Department Violence Intervention Program was first being established, Dr. Carolyn Snyder reached out to the police service along with all the community partners and other agencies that might support the program and participate in it, and the police service being one of them. I took that as an opportunity, and we recognized it in the police service as a great opportunity for a partnership in the health system that would potentially, we could contribute resources and energy to helping intervene and help people out of the gang life.
This program has helped me cope with my anger issues, my feelings. They taught me how to talk about everything. It opened up a new part of me that I didn't know that was there no more. Thought it was gone.
I actually got into college. I graduated college in the last year. I have a full-time job. I have my own apartment. And through that process, there's been times where I've slipped up and I used or I made poor decisions. And that's when Heather came into place. I was ashamed of what I did or the choices that I made, and Heather was the person that I would turn to, and she would be there any time of the day, no questions asked, just to even sit beside me and just talk. So.
Well, it helped me maintain my sobriety. I used to use drugs, I used to drink a lot. I danced when I was 2 years old, and then I stopped because my dad was living a different life, and I kind of glorified him for kind of being in a gang, going to jail, whatever, when I was 8 years old. He just happened to get out. I'm 25 years old now, so I'm just happy to live this sober life and find my tradition and find who I really am through dancing, singing, and ceremonies.
The EDVIP program is super essential for Winnipeg. I think it takes an approach that's innovative, creative, and addresses violence from a perspective of support and mentorship versus suppression, locking kids up, stuff like that.
So if we can reduce that, we'll save our healthcare system a lot of money. If we can reduce the impact on the justice system, we'll save our justice system a lot of money. If we can get people engaged in education and finishing high school, we can have a number of youth who are engaged in more productive lifestyles down the road.
Based on the evidence that we now have for the year and a half that we've been in operations, I can only see and hope that a program such as EDVIP goes to every single hospital not only in Winnipeg but across the country.
Sometimes our youth, our patients, don't actually have a voice out in the community that allows them to advocate for themselves, and I acknowledge that as an emergency physician I have a certain opportunity and I believe a certain responsibility to advocate for them.